I don't want to do too much reflecting on last week's game because you did that wonderful interview, of course, on the radio, and that covered a lot of it. But the first thing that I did want to pick up on was, of course, Harvey and Sam making their first team debuts. Are you all right just to talk through their performance and again, maybe mention that progression for the Colts and moving forward, what we're going to be doing next year with them?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was great to give a couple of the Colts an opportunity to play first 15. A few of them had an opportunity to play for the Nomads earlier in the year, but with cancelled fixtures and things like that, we didn't get as much opportunity as we would have liked to get the young guys playing senior rugby this year. But there will be a few of them around next year, having gap years from uni or staying local, which is great, so they can transition into the senior squad. And then we've got a good group of older Colts that will still be in the Colts program that are able to play some rugby with the seniors next year as well. So that bodes really well for the club. To be honest, we've got a fairly young squad at first 15 and second 15 level anyway. So it's just it's great to have more young uns coming through. And there's none of our older players are set to retire at this stage yet. So it's just strengthening the squad even more with homegrown local talent, which is fantastic. I mean, on the day, Sam and Harvey had a great game. Bit nervous before, and took them a few minutes to get into the game. But when they did, they both started to play their usual brand of rugby. You know, Sam had some real big ball carries and some nice defensive efforts, and Harvey was moving the ball around beautifully. And once he'd had a couple of shots at goal, he got third time lucky and nailed one from the sideline. So, you know, I think it was a really positive experience for him, and that they then go back to the other Colts and spread the word that actually it's not that big a step up, and you know, if you're a good player, you can handle it.
Absolutely. I mean, that was one of the biggest cheers of the day when he knocked over the third conversion. So it's great as well. Obviously, they've been on tour, so I'm sure they'll be spreading some stories around. But it's really good to hear. Moving on to this weekend, of course, we've got Old Habs as the last game of the season. Can we go through Old Habs themselves and what we're going to need to do to make sure that we end the season in style, and then maybe go through the team after that?
Yeah, sure. You know, we're gonna pick a consistent side for Old Habs. It's the last game of the season, so the boys that have pulled the jersey on this year are going to be pulling it on again one last time. And you know, that's been made easier. That decision's been made easier because we've got a Nomads County Cup final the following weekend, which means the guys that miss out this weekend will get a quality game of rugby in the following weekend. So that's a big plus. Old Habs, you know, they're an entertaining side. They came up here first game of the season, and we put on a really good performance and almost racked up 50 points against them. And they were a little bit shocked by that. They haven't had as good a season this year as they had before COVID. So my gut feeling is they've got their last home game dinner on afterwards. They will probably rally the troops and put out a fairly strong side and come at us all guns blazing, looking to get a win to celebrate the end of their season.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone's in the same position, aren't they? Want to go out with a bang. But who are the team that are going to be taking the field? Have you sort of finalised the 15 and the 3 on the bench?
Yeah, pretty much. There's a couple of question marks still, but we'll be going with Ollie Elmsley, Miles Huppets, and Danny Barber in the front row. So guys that have fronted up a lot this year. Jordan and Will Buchanan in the engine room at second row. Pete Clark, Benny Bates, and Harry Rogerson will start this time on the open side. So again, you know, a lot of consistency there in our selection, which is good. Line out should function quite well with Will, Jordan, and Pete in there. So you know, and set piece should be strong because there's a fair bit of weight in that pack as well. The Haberdashers have got a good front row, and they can cause you a bit of trouble at scrum time if you're not on song. And then backline, yeah, you'd probably be able to tell me what the backline is because they've been consistent all year. It's Baker and TJ's back in. You know, Lewis and Jack in the centres, and then Tangi, Shingai, and Gillick in the back three. You know, you got Jack and Lewis, I think, have played every game this year, so they're fighting out for the Ironman. So neither of them wanted to miss a game. And Tangi and Jack are obviously scrapping for top try scorer. So, you know, same thing. They both want to get as many minutes as possible so that they can one of them will come out on top. Maybe they'll draw, who knows? But one of them will probably come out on top. And then I think Lewis is way ahead with top point scorer, and in fact, it's Lewis's 100th cap too. So I think that needs a special mention, which would be a great way to celebrate for him. You know, and I love it when you get something like that, because for a game like this where we've already won the league and got promotion, you know, you play well when you've got meaning, and for us to go out there knowing it's Cracker's 100th cap, the boys will front up. They'll want to put on a good show for him, which will put us in a better place for getting a win.
Absolutely. And who are the three on the bench? Is that sort of where it's touch and go? Is it see what it's like at training tonight?
Yeah. Just we're waiting on a fitness test. So it might be Miles Anderson. Dunnett will definitely be on the bench. And then Jack Brosnan, who had a really good game against Buzzard, will be on the bench. That's just to see who comes in at our reserve front rower.
Brilliant, perfect. I wanted to do something a little bit different, because of course this is probably the last pre-match we're going to do for a few months. While I've got you here, I wanted to do a sort of season wrap-up style thing. So just a couple of highlights from you. So first of all, I'll put down here favourite game. That's probably wrong, but your most memorable game of the season, whether it was performance or determination or just sheer points scored.
Yeah, look, without a doubt, the away trip to Sudbury. You know, on the field, the boys were excellent. Off the field, the supporters were excellent. You know, to gain promotion by beating a good team like Sudbury, who've been neck and neck with all season, so convincingly, was just everything came together on that day, on and off the pitch, and you know, that I can't go past that game this season.
Yeah, for sure. There have been so many, so I'm sure it's hard to remember all of them. But your most memorable try or moment, whether it was at the end of the Sudbury game at home, where scoring that last-minute try, have you got anything that sticks in the mind?
Well, I think, to be honest, if we're talking from a rugby point of view, there was a couple, and I would say the way we finished off the Brentwood game. If you remember, we were 2 tries. It was pretty neck and neck. I think we had 5 minutes to go, and we scored 2 pretty outrageous, creative tries by just keeping the ball alive. You know, Gregor's putting the ball through his legs and Fiji style, all that kind of stuff. And we scored those 2 tries to get that bonus point win, which at that stage was really important. In fact, if you look at the season now, if we hadn't got that bonus point win then with those ridiculous tries, I'd call them ridiculous. I mean, they were ridiculously good. We would be only 5 points in front of Sudbury at the moment, and the league wouldn't be wrapped up. So we could be staring down the barrel of a loss at Habs would mean Sudbury could jump us and win the league. So those 2 tries at the end of that game were outstanding and really essential. So I'm going to go with those.
Brilliant. In terms of the players that we've had, obviously mentioned it a few times, that it's been 45 players on the pitch, whole squad effort, first Nomads. Is there anybody who maybe hasn't taken the limelight with scoring, who you can say is somebody who's come into the team and sort of almost like the coach's player of the season almost? I know it's hard to single anyone out, but if there are a couple of names who have really impressed you.
Look, it is hard, and I think, you know, we know we often focus and we know on guys that have had big seasons. You know, Huppert's has had a big season, Charlie's had a big season, Jack's had a big season. You know, there's guys in there. Benny Bates, you know, coming into the squad's had a big season. There's guys in there that have fronted up week in, week out and made a massive difference. There's guys that have been below the radar that graft, you know, your Dunnets and your Rogersons and people like that. Gillick solid as a rock at the back, you know, Shingai always clearing up mess on the wings. So that it is hard to single people out, and people have done different jobs through the year to make the first 15 successful. And in that, you know, saying we've had Nomads players that have played mostly Nomads but have stepped into a first 15 jersey and done a great job and made us carry on winning. So, you know, they all need a mention. And when we have our players dinner in May, you know, everyone will get their dues, because it has been a squad effort, and I'm really proud of that, because that's something that we've worked hard to get, is a cohesive squad of lads that are all happy to throw the jersey on and get stuck in. But for me, if I was looking at, you know, a coach's player, someone who's improved out of sight, someone who's, you know, massively committed, you know, amazingly coachable, you know, honest, humble, hardworking, it would be Will Buchanan. You know, there's a kid who's left school last year, took up rugby, I think 2 years ago, gave up rowing, took up rugby a couple of years ago. So fairly new to the game, you could say, but got his chance in first 15. And once he got it, he never gave it up. Like, he's keeping that jersey, and, he's almost first on the team sheet if he's available, which he is week in, week out. He's always there. He doesn't take a holiday. He doesn't, he's just amazingly committed to the program, which is fantastic. So yeah, I'd give him a special mention, because I think he embodies a lot of the philosophy that we want to bring to this club, and definitely the senior squad.
He's having a week. He won the competition as well, the Easter competition. So he's having a week to remember. But no, it's great. All the names that you mentioned and more, of course. It's such good work from them, and of course from you to get the team in that position. So well done to you as well. You didn't give yourself a shout out, but I'll do it on behalf of everyone else. But you mentioned, of course, players dinner coming up in May. When the season is wrapped up, after this weekend, what is going to be going on, and what's going to be happening behind the scenes that people can look forward to, and also what you're going to have to think of going into next season as well?
Yeah, look, it's going to be a step up. We know that. So next week we start our fitness testing, so that we can put in place some summer conditioning programs for the players. Certainly don't want to, spend a couple of months just sitting around doing nothing. So the more support we can give the players with, rugby appropriate conditioning programs for the summer, the better. And so we'll start working on that straight away before they all sort of split and go off and play cricket and do different things. And then Monday nights we'll have social touch at the club, which is open to the men, the women, the Colts. But it's a great way of keeping the players coming up to the club and interacting with each other socially, as well as keeping a rugby ball in their hands and making sure some of the core skills like catch and pass and evasive running and that are kept up to speed as well. Give them a break from the contact, obviously, let the shoulders heal up. But Thursday night will be conditioning sessions. So we'll do group sessions on a Thursday night through the summer as well, just to make sure that guys, a lot of guys prefer to come together and train as a group, particularly if you're working them hard. It's a bit more motivational to do it in a group. So we'll do that on Thursday nights. And then some of the guys will be playing sevens. We've got the Shelford Sevens on the 21st of May. We're taking a squad to Bournemouth on the Jubilee weekend. And then, before you know it, pre-season starts. It's 5th of July is pre-season. Middle of August, we've got 2 pre-season games. And then, first weekend of September, the season's off. So it comes around really, really quickly. But it'll be quite nice to have a bit of a break, because last year we played rugby through May, June, because we were coming out of the COVID restrictions. So we didn't get that summer break last year. So it will be nice for the boys to have a bit of downtime. And a lot of this stuff that we're supporting them with, the programs, touch rugby and the conditioning sessions at the club, will be optional. We're not going to be dogmatic about it. We want guys to be able to have a holiday, have a break, and just keep themselves in shape and stay in touch with the squad and the club, but on a more casual basis.
Brilliant. Are we going to be seeing you on the Monday touches? Is coach going to be getting involved as well?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I got a few minutes on the pitch this year, a couple of cameos for the first and thirds, but I survived. Did wake up feeling a bit sore on a Sunday morning, but I'll be running around playing touch, and you're more than welcome as well, Josh. You can put the camera down and come and have a run around. Yeah,
we'll have a go. I might only have a couple of minutes in me, but yeah, we'll give it a go. Well, I'll let you go. I'm going to go and sit in the sun because it looks lovely. But thank you very much, and I'll see you on Saturday.
Pleasure. Thanks, Josh. All the
Cheers,
best, mate.
See you. Bye-bye.
See you, buddy.